It's 11:47 p.m. You clock in. The building hasn't had a patient in 9 years. They told you it's routine. Maintenance rounds. Something to do while the developers sort out the permits. They didn't mention the third floor. They didn't mention why the last guard quit at 4 a.m. without collecting his check. You find that out on your own. This is how your last night looked. 11:47 p.m. The lobby. The lobby is the kind of dark that isn't really dark. Emergency lighting runs off a generator somewhere deep in the building. You can hear it breathing through the walls. A low, mechanical exhale. Constant. Never quite stopping. The reception desk is still there. Someone left a coffee mug on it. There's no coffee in it. Hasn't been for 9 years. But it's still there. Handle facing out. Like whoever set it down only stepped away for a moment and intended to come back. They didn't come back. You sign the logbook. The last signature above yours is 2 weeks old. The guard before that lasted 1 shift. The one before that, 4. You don't read far enough back to see how the pattern started. Marcus, the day guard, hands you a radio and a flashlight and keeps his eyes somewhere past your left shoulder. He has the look of a man who has practiced not knowing things. Anything I should know? You ask. He zips his jacket. Keys jingle. Just do your rounds. Ground floor, 2nd floor. Sign the log at each station. What about the 3rd floor? He pauses. Not long. Just long enough to tell you the pause exists. Access is restricted. Restricted by who? But Marcus is already halfway to the parking lot, and the automatic door closes behind him with a sound like an exhale, and then it's just you and the generator hum, and 9 years of empty. You start your rounds. 12:04 a.m. Ground floor, East Wing. The ground floor is a museum of the ordinary made strange by abandonment. Wheelchairs lined up against a corridor wall. 8 of them evenly spaced, as if someone parked them with care. A bulletin board still holding notices for hospital staff from 2015. A Christmas potluck sign-up sheet with 12 names on it. A blood drive reminder. A retirement announcement for someone named Dr. Harlow, with a photograph of a woman in her 60s smiling at a cake. You check your first log station. Sign it. Time. Location. Nothing to report. You move deeper into the East Wing. The nurse's station is intact. Monitors dark. Cord still plugged in. Snaking across the counter like sleeping things. A coffee maker. A stack of patient charts no one ever filed. A desk calendar open to March 2016. The same month repeating forever. One of the drawers is open. You don't remember it being open when you passed 10 minutes ago. You close it. You keep moving. Halfway down the west corridor, you pass the pediatric ward. Chained shut. Padlock in place. But the chain has slack in it. Loops loosely through the door handles like it was replaced in a hurry. Like the door had been opened and the chain was wound back through without quite pulling taut. You test the padlock. Locked. You note it in the logbook. Chain on pediatric ward. Check integrity. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. You reach the end of the East Wing, At 12:31, you sign the second station. You stand still for a moment and listen. The generator hum. A pipe somewhere. Air moving. And then, very briefly, so briefly you almost revise it out of memory before it finishes, a sound from somewhere above you. Footsteps, even unhurried. 3, 4, 5 of them. Then nothing. You look at the ceiling. The ceiling looks back. You write nothing in the logbook. You head for the stairs. 12:47 a.m. Second floor, West Wing. The elevator doesn't work. You take the stairs. The stairwell smells different than the rest of the building. Everything else smells like dust and dormant antiseptic. A clean, sealed smell, like a time capsule. The stairwell smells like copper, old and low and underneath everything else. You tell yourself, old pipes. The second floor was the post-surgical recovery ward. Long curtained bays, the curtains still hanging from ceiling rails. Thin, institutional green, stirring faintly as you walk past, even though no window is open. Your flashlight catches them, and they glow for a second, then dark again. You walk the center corridor. Check Station 3. Sign it. Your footsteps are the only sound, and then they aren't. It comes from the fourth bay on your left. The sound of someone shifting in a bed. A spring compressing, fabric moving, subtle. The kind of sound a building makes. The kind you learn to filter. Except you have been in enough abandoned buildings to know they don't sound like bodies adjusting in sleep. You stop. You say, "Hello. Anyone in here needs to identify themselves. I'm building security." Nothing. You pull back the curtain. The bay is empty. The bed frame is stripped to bare metal. No mattress, no linens. Housekeeping cleared everything at close. Nothing in it. Nobody in it. But there is a pillow. There shouldn't be a pillow. Housekeeping stripped everything. But there it is, at the head of the bare metal frame. And it has a depression in it, the shape of a head. Not old, not flattened by years of gravity. Fresh. You press your hand to it. Still warm. You step back. You let the curtain fall. You breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. The way you learn to breathe when something spikes your adrenaline. And you need to stay functional. Okay. Thermal anomaly. Old mattress coils retain. No, there's no mattress. Old springs. Residual warmth from the building's heating system hasn't run in 9 years. There is no explanation. You keep moving, because that's what you do. You keep moving. At the far end of the second floor, there's a rehabilitation room. The door is open. Inside, parallel bars, a stationary bike, a wall of mirrors that the demolition crew hasn't gotten to yet. You sweep your flashlight across the mirrors. 8 panels. Your reflection in all of them, fractured and multiplied. Except the third panel from the left. In the third panel, your reflection is facing the wrong way. You are walking toward the mirrors. Your reflection in every panel walks toward the mirrors with you. In the third panel, your reflection is facing away, walking in the opposite direction. moving deeper into the mirror. You blink. When you open your eyes, all 8 reflections are facing the same way. Yours. You leave the rehabilitation room. You do not look back at the mirrors. You take the stairs to the ground floor and you stand in the lobby for 3 minutes breathing. Then your radio crackles. A voice, 2 syllables, low, not static, shaped. Your name. Your actual name, not the one on your badge. The signal is coming from above, from the 3rd floor. 1:22 a.m., 3rd floor landing. You weren't going to go. Let the record show that. You were not going to go. You were going to call Marcus. You were going to call the agency. You were going to write unknown radio interference, recommend technical review in the logbook, and sit in the lobby until sunrise. But your legs were already at the base of the stairwell, and the door to the 3rd floor was already in front of you. And you understood, in the way you understand things in the worst moments of your life, that whatever was going to happen next had already been decided. The access door to the 3rd floor is not locked. That's the detail that does something to your chest. Marcus said restricted. Restricted implies locked. Restricted implies there's a reason you can't get up there. But the door just swings open, smooth and easy, like it was left that way. Like it was left that way for you specifically. The 3rd floor was the psychiatric ward. You know this because the signage is still mounted. Behavioral Health Unit, plastic letters on a directory board. And below it, a room list. Rooms 301 through 324. Patient names removed. Room functions still labeled. The hallway is longer than the floors below. Narrower. The ceiling is lower. Your flashlight reaches maybe 20 feet before the dark swallows it. But at the far end of the hallway, it doesn't matter how far your flashlight reaches, because something at the far end is already lit. Room 318. A light behind the door. Warm, amber, pulsing very slightly, like candlelight, like breathing. There are no candles in this building. There is no electrical service to individual rooms. You know this because you read the site briefing. You walk toward it the way you walk toward things in nightmares, not because you choose to, but because the choice has been made somewhere below conscious thought, and your body is simply executing it. The door to 318 is ajar, 6 inches. Through the gap, a chair facing the window, occupied. The figure in the chair is still. Completely, perfectly still, in the way that living things are not still, because living things breathe, shift, blink. This figure does none of those things. It sits with the precision of something that has been sitting for a very long time. The proportions are wrong. You notice it before you can name it. Too long in the torso, the head at an angle that suggests the neck has given a kind of consent. The hands on the armrests, fingers too long, resting flat. You say, building security. I need you to identify yourself. Nothing. You push the door open. The figure is facing the window. The window shows the parking lot below. Your van, the orange wash of a distant street lamp. It also shows a reflection of the room. It shows you the figure's face before the figure turns. In the reflection, smooth, pale, nothing where the features should be. No eyes, no mouth, no nose, just surface, uninterrupted, smiling. Not with a mouth, with the whole shape of the face somehow. The whole blank surface smiling. The figure turns its head toward you. You run. 1:39 a.m. Third floor hallway. You don't remember the first 10 seconds. Memory picks up somewhere in the middle of the hallway, your flashlight swinging wild. The exit sign at the far end, a red point you're running toward, like it's the only fixed thing in the universe. Behind you, nothing, no footsteps, no sound. That's almost worse. You hit the stairwell door with your shoulder, and it swings open, and you take the stairs without counting them, down and down, gripping the rail, and from somewhere above you, from the floor you just left, you hear a door close. Quietly, precisely, the soft click of a latch catching. Unhurried, patient. Like whatever was in that chair simply noted your exit and returned to what it was doing. Like it wasn't chasing you. Like it didn't need to. You hit the lobby. The generator hum fills your ears. The coffee mug is on the floor. You don't know when that happened. The handle has broken off. You don't remember a sound. You stand in the middle of the lobby and breathe and take inventory. You are in the lobby. You are on the ground floor. You are intact. There is a door behind you and a door in front of you, and the one in front leads outside. You pick up the logbook. You don't know why. Instinct. Evidence. The need to hold something real. The logbook falls open to the last entry before yours. The handwriting is jagged, pressed hard into the paper. It says, "Do not go to the third floor. Below that, it knows you are here before you arrive. Below that, I am sorry. I should have written this sooner. I could not make my hands do it until now." There is no date. Not because whoever wrote it forgot to date it, because they were out of time. 2:14 a.m. Lobby. You sit on the floor with your back against the reception desk for 40 minutes. You know it's 40 minutes because you watch the clock on your phone. You watch the numbers change. You make yourself watch the numbers change because it is a thing happening in real time, and real time is where you want to be. You build your case. You are a reasonable person. You have been awake since 6 a.m. New environment, unfamiliar sounds, a building with history and acoustics you don't understand. The warm pillow, thermal retention, explainable. The mirror, tired eyes, angle of light, the mind finding patterns. The logbook entry, left by a troubled predecessor. Unhinged, unreliable. The face, with no features. You don't have an explanation for the face with no features, but you tell yourself, I am not going to be the person who quits at 4 a.m. without collecting their check. I am going to sit here until sunrise. I am going to be rational. At 2:58 a.m., every light on the second floor turns on. You can see it from the lobby. The stairwell door has a small wired glass window, and through it, the second floor landing glows. Then, the floor above. Then, softly, from somewhere at the top of the building, the third floor, there is no electrical service to individual rooms. All the lights are on. Your radio crackles. The two-syllable voice again. Your name. Again. But this time, it is not coming from above. It is coming from directly beside you, 6 inches from your left ear. You do not turn your head to look. You stand up. You walk to the front door. You push it open. You step into the parking lot, and the cold night air hits you, and you keep walking until you reach your car, and then you get in, and you lock the door, and you start the engine. You don't look back at the building. You made yourself a rule about looking back, and this time you keep it perfectly. 3:04 a.m. The parking lot. I drove until the building was behind me, and then I pulled over and sat in the car for a long time. I called the agency at 8 a.m. I said, I can't go back. They asked, why? I said, I can't explain it in a way that would make sense to you, and I understand that means I'm probably not getting paid for last night. They said, you're the third one this month. I hung up. I've thought about the third floor a lot since that night. About the figure in the chair. About the reflection that was smiling without a mouth. About the logbook entry. It knows you're here before you arrive. I keep turning that over, what it implies. Not that something dangerous lives in that building. I can make peace with that, I think, given enough time. But that it knew that before I walked through the front door, before I clocked in, before I even pulled into the parking lot, it was already aware of me. It was already in the chair, already waiting. I quit the next morning. I don't know who took the shift after me. I hope they read the logbook. I hope they didn't go to the third floor. I hope it was already waiting for someone else.